What's your sleep at night?
Song for the SOA, David Rovics, here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Juan?
We turn now to Iraq, where a deadly car bomb in the northern city of Kirkuk has killed up to 40 people and injured another 100. Today's bombing came hours after U.S. troops withdrew from major Iraqi towns and cities, marring celebrations on a day that is now officially declared as National Sovereignty Day, a public holiday. Tuesday's bombing is the latest in a string of recent attacks that have killed over 250 people in the past 10 days. Despite the formal pullback, some troops will remain in Iraqi cities, while the majority of the 130,000 U.S. troops will remain on bases scattered across the country. The Iraqi Prime Minister, Nouri al-Maliki, and President Jalal al-Talabani praised the achievements of, quote, the new efforts to rebuild Iraq based on democracy. President Obama also praised the pullback and called it a step towards Iraqi sovereignty.
It's a part of our strategy to responsibly end the war by removing all American combat brigades from Iraq by next September, and of all of our troops from Iraq by the end of 2011. So the Iraqi people are rightly treating this day as a cause for celebration. This is an important step forward as a sovereign and united Iraq continues to take control of its own destiny. Now, make no mistake, there will be difficult days ahead. We know that the violence in Iraq will continue. We see that already in the senseless bombing in Kirkuk earlier today. And there are those who will test Iraq's security forces and the resolve of the Iraqi people through more sectarian bombings and the murder of innocent civilians. But I'm confident that those forces will fail.
Meanwhile, the top U.S. commander in Iraq, General Ray Odierno, said allowing Iraqis to take charge of their cities is, quote, psychologically important to them.
Today was an extremely important day for Iraq, and it's psychologically important to them. It's psychologically important that they now have made progress with their security forces, that they made progress where they can now take charge inside of the cities. It's important for us that we understand this and recognize this and allow them to exercise that authority.
For more on Iraq, we're joined on the line from Baghdad by McClatchy reporter Sahar Issa, an Iraqi citizen. We're also joined by Democracy Now! Video stream by award-winning investigative journalist Jeremy Scahill, who's also written extensively about this, author of the best-selling book Blackwater, The Rise of the World's Most Powerful Mercenary Army, writing extensively about the National Sovereignty Day at his blog, rebelreports.com. Sahar, let's begin with you. Tell us what's happened in Iraq, both National Sovereignty Day, the response of Iraqis, and the bombings that have taken place as well.
National Sovereignty Day, of course, is a day that is celebrated by the heart of all Iraqis. You must know that Iraq is a proud country, and Iraq is a proud people. It is difficult for them not to be happy at the action of foreign troops leaving their cities and their streets. At the same time that they are happy to gain control over their streets and cities, there is doubt in their hearts whether the Iraqi security forces are actually adequate to the task that is in front of them in the coming days, weeks, and months of keeping the peace and keeping the population secure. This is at the bottom of the doubt that you see. Is the Iraqi force actually adequate to the task? The Iraqi force is infiltrated by many. The Iraqi force has been formed upon somewhat sectarian lines. The Iraqi force also, because of the administrative corruption, has many people who have brought in their relatives, their friends, their neighbors, people who are not professional. And after 6 years, perhaps it would be a legitimate question to ask and to forward to the American forces. After 6 years of training, they have undertaken to present Iraq with a new force after dismantling the old one. Why isn't the Iraqi force actually adequate to the task? The people of Iraq ask this question. It is the first question they ask. They are still not confident that the Iraqi forces are capable. And of course, unfortunately, giving proof of this is that the terrorists or the insurgents or whatever we want to call the coups that are actually taking out the innocents, are capable of hitting when they want and where they want, in spite of checkpoints, in spite of explosive detectors, in spite of, to tell you the truth, the cooperation even with the people, with the forces. Nevertheless, the violent attacks are taking place. In Kirkuk it took place, in Sadr City it took place only one day after the American forces left it. It was said by a Sadrist prominent politician to us that this is a message to people in Sadr City. Do not be happy that the U.S. forces are leaving. So underlying the happiness of Iraqis to see foreign troops go out of their cities, go out from their thoroughfares, there is fear that perhaps the Iraqi security forces are not adequate to the task.
Sahar Issa, what about the ability of the Iraqi government to provide basic services to the population? There's obviously many reports of corruption within the government and continued infighting among the various factions. How has the public seen the ability of the government to administer the society?
To tell you the truth, if you look back a little bit, you will find that with the height of violence that only started coming down in the beginning of 2008, and while human life was at stake, violence was like a blanket, cutting off perception of what is real.